the boat in trouble. This time, Nomura was able to wriggle off the hook with 1:30 to go, and now they hold a favored position.
Not going to have it. They go to each other. The only good picture. Okay, plenty of
Game here is to get up to full speed. KR makes his move first, and he'll be going faster when the gun goes off.
Go down below the line. 20. 17. 14. 13. 4, 3, 2, 1, cut!
Another clean start and another good job by Dylan Bob.
Another opening, another show in Philly, Boston, and Baltimore. A time for stage folks to say hello. Another opening of another show. Little Cole Porter to open the stream. So, hi guys. I'm gonna try to be light, really light, because it's time for everybody to start touching grass. At least it's time for me to start touching grass, because sailing season is upon me. And I want y'all to reflect on the fact that how is it that wouldn't you want to be doing the stuff you love when you're 72? Still being able to do it? Just, wouldn't it be nice if you could get to this point and just keep on trucking? And wouldn't it be nice to be able to thank whatever providence there is? And I don't mean Rhode Island. But and Providence is not pronounced Providence in Rhode Island. It's pronounced Providence. But anyway, what I'm saying is, with all the bullshit that's going on in the goddamn world, everywhere, maybe keeping a sense of humor is good. Maybe everything's not the biggest disaster you ever encountered, because kids, let me tell you something, they're going to be disasters all the way through life. And when the more disasters you encounter, it may be the worst time on earth. However, I think you need to hold on to joy in your life. Being human's an absurd state. Just an absurd state. In my life, it's like another opening, another show is exactly what I'm talking about is I'm going sailing again. I'm 72. I can still do it. I can still do that. And I'm grateful for that. I'm not really sure. I've had fun at gatherings and all of that. I've had fun meeting friends, and I've had fun doing the whole thing. But when it stops being fun, when it starts being toxic, maybe stop doing it. Do the things you love. Be aware of the things you love. You know, it's maybe a little zen, but you know, try to focus on that. I'm sort of waxing. I just was getting all kinds of, hey, it's sailing season 5. No, hold on a second. I gotta walk away for a moment, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna take my headphones off. I'm gonna get my gear. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna show you my gear for running sailboat races, for all that stuff. I'm just gonna show you a little bit of gear. Okay, I might even get out some signal flags. You never know. I'm just sort of hanging out and going on stream and bullshitting, okay? Not being serious. Ain't gonna touch on any serious topics this evening. If you wanted if you wanted the if you wanted the serious topics, you've already pretty much heard my take on the serious topics that everybody's at each other's throat about. But you know what, folks? Every now and again, you don't need to be serious. You can just be you. After all, this fucking thing is called YouTube. So if you don't dig this, eh, that's fine. You don't need to. And like I said on my last stream, it's like, don't subscribe to my channel. It sucks. I'm just some old crazy bitch who, you know, just keeps going on. And have gained and lost quite a bit over the course of my 72 years. Um, but here I am. Hang on just a moment. One moment. I got to get my stuff. See, hang in there. Not going far. I'm just walking away from the old thing, and I'm gonna get my tools, my fucking tools. I gotta have my tools. All right. Hang on a minute. Key things, key ingredients of a successful uh, a successful campaign on the race course. Hold on a moment. All right, I'm back. Yeah, here I am. Just fucking around here. Oh no. Oh shit. Hold on, people. I just switched my monitor over to ESPN, which could be appropriate, but maybe not so much. The fuck? Oh yeah. All right. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I just gotta go back. Yeah. Yeah. See, totally fucked up here. Totally fucked up. Oh no. It's all screwed up. Jesus Christ. Let's see. We gotta go. This is the problem with using my goddamn TV as a monitor. Jesus Christ Almighty. Live TV guide. Wait. Whoa. Hold on now. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Shit. I'm sorry. This is total fuck up. Oh my goodness. Ah, there we go. Million. Okay. Now I can watch myself being a total idiot. All right. Yeah, well, equals I hope I got that right. I'm not I again, I'm glad you're here. I've run across you here and there. I I'm I'm just an old crazy bitch. Uh, you know, um and I I'm not surprised that nobody's subbed to my channel and please don't apologize and don't feel you have to stick around, but I do appreciate your being here, like I appreciate everybody else who has been with me, watched with me, uh, watched my whole thing. I've had my encounters in the atheist community. Actually white knighting for several people who are now apparently going after me hammer and tongs, but whatever, that's them. And I'm still here. And oh yeah, after all that stupid horse shit, um, yeah, well, it's something. Anyway, here we go. I apologize for the background noise. That's my monitor heater that um, that just sort of, you know, does this stuff. Anyway, so here we go. Here is my VHF. All right, got to have that. You got to have that because if you're on the boat, you want to be listening to what the race committee is telling you, right? You want to know. You want to know what they're saying. Like you want to know the countdown 10. You saw this, but you saw the intro here, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Get down below the line. Get down below the line. Right? By the way, the gentleman who was saying get down below the line was a fellow by the name of Bill Koch. You know the Koch brothers? He's one of them. He didn't get along with his family very well. He's the unknown Koch brother who sued his mother over her wine collections. I've known Bill. Bill was he's he I think Bill's still alive. He's quite a wig, quite a rig. He was David's twin. I think David might be still alive. I don't know. Anyway, so we got the VHF, and then this is handy. This is a handy little device. It is used on the golf course as well. It is a rangefinder. Where's the pin? How far away is the mark? Where's this other boat? And then there's this thing here, which is your weather mate, which is an anemometer, which tells you what the wind speed is. That's all kinds of fun. It's nice to know how to set up your boat, get it all tuned up for the right wind speed, because you got to know what the wind speed is, because you got to change things around to make the sails the right, shape it and stuff. So these are some tools. These are some tools that I'm going to be putting into use, to good use. In gosh darn it, May 1st. Happy May Day. May 1st. It's like it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, because it's they're just tools, right? You know, it's they're all just tools. But construction tools, they're just information, gathering information. You just gather as much information as you can. And I want to talk a little bit about how much I love sailing. It is the most zen thing you can possibly do, in my opinion. There may be other things, but voyaging or racing in particular is fascinating because it's, you know, it's all the stuff, but more intense. Unless you're actually doing an ocean delivery, in which case it's incredibly intense. Like, you could sink and die if you're not responsible. If you don't have those tools and you don't know how to use them and you don't and you're not absolutely in tune with all of the elements around you, seriously bad shit can happen. And you know what? When the shit start when the when the sh when you look like you're going into the soup, you get you need to not panic, the old Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy maxim, "Don't panic." That's really key, but it's hard to tell yourself not to panic. What is better is to have either trained yourself or to tell yourself, "Focus. What is happening? What's happening right now? What are all of the things? What is happening right now?" Which is why I mean, sailing is very zen. You need to know what is happening right now, externally, you know. You need to you need to reflect upon your uh you need to reflect upon your own mental state a little bit, and you need to let go of fear and terror. Be aware of it, but let go of it. It's sailors are sailors are interesting folk. The reason we swear so much is because every fucking time it's, "God damn it, not this again." Or, "God, Jesus, fucking are you fucking kidding me?" Or, you approach disaster, you learn to approach disaster with, "Oh, this is a pain in the ass," while maintaining a level of detachment and calm that says, "This is a pain in the ass, we're gonna have to get through it," and it's like, blah, 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 blah. I just love it. I just love it. And again, I'm super fucking lucky that I can still do it. So I'm sort of sitting here celebrating the fact that I've got this to look forward to. I also am sitting here reflecting upon the fact that my friend Jenny Morgan passed away this past week, and it really kind of hit me. Jenny, um, Jenny was a trans woman who transitioned, I think, 7 years before I did. So, um, 19, maybe 10. So 1980, 88, maybe. I don't know. Can't remember exactly. Um, so we shared the same surgeon many several years apart. Um, she had a very bad experience. I had a terrific experience. You know, but she was something else. She was around this community uh, for a while, and was an inspiration to a whole bunch of people. She's a good and dear friend of Purple Rhymes with Orange, and hung out there on Purple's channel quite a bit. Um, it's fucking crazy to be, there weren't many of us. Well, there were a lot of us actually around in the real world and such, but um, I feel like as an older trans woman, it's like we were figures of legend for a long time, which is why the trans community became such an easy target because we were just figures of legend. Um, and they were legends that other people dreamt up for us. And we, a few of us, chartered charted our own stories in public, shall we say. All of us had to chart our own stories within our own communities, within our own families. We all of us had to do all the things in order to survive. And Jenny did. And I have so far. Um, and I actually I find joy in that, I find joy in that. I find joy in just being here. It's pretty fucking weird, like having a career in sailing and in sail making, um, transitioning in my 40s and being able to um, being able to uh, navigate the experience of transition within a particularly male dominated, you know, haha, like type A uh, folk, and come out the other side and still be accepted. I really feel badly for uh, folks who are going through the process of transition today, especially those who are transitioning later in life, because of the political, social thing. I mean, it's basically when back in the 90s and early aughties, noughties, it was more of a, "Oh, that's odd. That's odd." But hey, you know, you do you. I mean, some people ran away screaming. Other people ran away screaming at first and then came back. It's funny what the years will forgive. Anyway, I said this was gonna be a this is gonna be all about the future. Uh, but I can't, I can't really I really can't. I can celebrate the future and remember the past as well. So here's to Jenny. Here's to Jenny. Gonna win another sailboat racing championship for Jenny, just because we can do it. Anywho, I guess, let's see, it's, well, I wanna thank you all for those of you who don't know me, haven't known me, I wanna thank you for getting to know me a little bit. I wanna thank all the folks who have known me for coming around. I hope I haven't been too much of a pain in the ass for y'all. Uh, certainly on the outs with a whole number of people in this so-called community. Listen to my listen to my previous stream. You'll understand exactly how I feel about the illusory nature of the community on YouTube. I think mostly the biggest problem in this so-called community is that it's mostly a whole bunch of fucking egotists who actually think that they have something to say and just flick on a camera and start talking. I rest under no illusions. What the hell? Yeah, I can talk shit, but here I've said elsewhere that uh, in these modern days, I'd actually rather get into a bar fight than get into an internet squabble because absolutely everything turns into mind games here. It's crazy. Who's touching grass here? You know? I've gotten really, really tired of the, uh of the conceit that you have to argue about God everywhere. Smoking grass is fine. Touching grass is fine too. You know, you know. It's like I think a lot of folks are just, arguing on the internet about religion because if they argued about religion in a bar, they'd probably get their clock cleaned or at least it's like, where else can I really wanna talk about religion, but I can't do it in a bar because everybody will tell me to shut the fuck up. So guess what? I'll go on the fucking TV and make that the whole gig. It's like, but Jesus, people have been arguing about religion since Christ was a corporal, right? It's like, my goodness. And it's interesting and it's true and it's all good. And there are insights. The thing I actually like about philosophy and religion are the stories, you know, makes you stop and think. And maybe it helps you to live your life. Maybe it's that, like I was like, okay, I'm informed by the philosophy of Zen Buddhism. Okay, that's fine. I'm informed by that, but it's not really actually a way to argue or live. It's you can be informed by any number of things, but what the fuck? I don't want to argue with you know, I wanna argue with racists. I wanna argue with I wanna, you know, do things that stop people who want to do bad things to other people. I want to put a stop to their doing bad things to other people. Doesn't matter the philosophy. When somebody does a bad thing to another person, I want to see it corrected somehow. And that might be the thing that sucks about the current situation that's been going on that people have been discussing about. It's like, Jesus Christ, that ain't cool. And yeah, you're right, Equus. Or Equus, actually. I was a I was a horsey girl ages ago too. My very first job was shoveling shit and curry combing horses and all of that. And my very first job, that was it. And I'm still shoveling shit. And I spent way too much time curry combing the necks of egotistical show horses. And I'm done with that. Matt. Yeah, Matt. Yeah. It's funny that, every one of the every one of the controversies I every one of the controversies I've been involved with in this community have all been about somebody doing something. Oh, Appaloosas. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wonderful. Appaloosas and Morgans were, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it's fucking crazy that people doing bad things and people not recognizing the bad things that they did. People platforming bad people. Oh God. But again, stick to the bar fights. They're a lot more entertaining, or at least you could figure out how to approach somebody going off the rails in such a fashion as to get them back down. You can try that in real life. You can't do it on the internet. It doesn't happen. Oh, elevator gate? Do you want me to talk about elevator gate? No, it was a thing that happened at an atheist convention. A um, uh, 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 this was back in what 2010 or 11, I think. Um, Rebecca Watson. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. It was just a thing, but it happens everywhere. Likewise, it happens everywhere. It's yeah, it happens everywhere. It happens in common culture, and believe it or not, atheists are part of common culture, and it's high time people fucking realize that. You know? Yeah. Atheists are part of common culture. Atheists just don't believe in God. It's like it's there's not much of an excuse. Yeah, patriarchy, exactly right. Patriarchy, power dynamics, you know. Power dynamics, I think, is the big thing. And of course, patriarchy is based on a certain power dynamic, but it's not necessarily all that's not all that it's about, I don't think. Um, but it's certainly the one that took hold in human culture more prevalently than anything else. You know, it's just it's grim. But, you know, we we the thing's been going on for a whole lot more than 2,000 years, right? You know, it's like just recall that the pharaoh, like what was her name, Hatshepsut, I believe. She was her name was erased because she was a female pharaoh, and oh no, we can't have that. You know, in like 4400 BCE. It's like, like, that's quite some time ago. I'm gonna look this up. Now that you got me here, it's like Hatshepsut. When the fuck did she reign? What was her reign? Hatshepsut. Yeah. Hatshepsut's reign was a period of great prosperity and general peace. Oh, who'd have thunk it? Ruling first as regent, then as queen regent, from 1479 BCE until 1458 BCE. She's Egypt's second confirmed woman who ruled in her own right. Oh my goodness. I've never heard of Sobekeneferu in the 12th dynasty. Anyway, uh, wow. So anyway, 1505, 1505 BCE, eldest daughter of Thutmose the First. And so here we are, you know, Oh my goodness. And she did all the stuff, right? Hateshput. Look her up. Bits of trivia hanging around, running around my brain. But yeah, the patriarchy, and it's like, okay. Monuments, Temple of Karnak. Oh my goodness. Long time ago. Long ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, okay. I guess that's about it. I didn't intend to spend a great deal of time here, and so the time I spent here, I hope was well spent for those of you who visited. Thank you for spending the time with me. Um, one small brief thing before I leave, and this is actually serious. With all the crap that's been going on in discussion about the failures of this community around uh, around what happened last July, I want to take personal responsibility for a failure on my part. I have my reasons, I have my excuses, and they're mostly excuses on my part to not speak out in closer proximity to the event. The first time I learned about it, albeit at third hand. I should have screamed bloody murder right then among the people that I knew. I should have asked a lot more questions right then. And maybe, uh, some of the damage that, uh, not the damage that that was incurred by Nancy, the victim. What I wished I would have said was, and which I did say privately, off screen, off the page, was Elliot's got some explaining to do. In my naivete, I suspected that somebody would call him to account, and I didn't feel that was my particular job, but it actually was. I think that that was something I could have done. I wasn't at the event. I really don't had I've never had any interaction with Nancy or Stacy, the apostate sisters. To be honest, I had pretty much stepped away from this stupid community, um, long before, with the exception of my affiliation with the line and doing call screening and occasionally appearing uh, on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. But I could have done more. I'm very disappointed in people I have very much aligned with in the past, uh, who were in attendance. I'm very disappointed that nothing happened. I'm very disappointed that those people took the attitude that, "Oh, it looks okay to me." That's just no good. If you all saw it, those of you who are here, if you didn't see it, you watch my stream, the last stream I did, and that's pretty much the last word I have to say. You don't go, you don't just, uh, you just don't uh, let it slide, even if the victim wants you to. No, honey, you're hurt. No, honey, you're hurt, and your hurt is beyond my capacity to deal with. It's it's really that basic. She needed a physician and she needed a counselor who understood, who had seen that situation before and could help her through it. Because let's face it, who are women most assaulted by? People they trust. Who are most people assaulted by? People they trust. And what is damaged when that assault occurs? A breaking of trust. That's what I meant when I was talking about communities of trust. There is nothing, nothing, nothing more potentially damaging and destructive than the destruction of a community of trust. I need to depend on my shipmates. I need to be able to have confidence in them. They need to be able to have confidence in me. That is the thing that actually makes everything I do on the water, racing, delivering, all of that, that is a thing that makes the sport special to me. And to all of us that do it. So I don't know you, Nancy. I don't know you, Patty. But if even tangentially I let you down, I apologize. My bad. And Elliot, I do know you, and you're not in my community of trust any longer. You have some explaining to do. So there you go. Good night, everybody. I appreciate your being here. And if you're new here, now you know me a little bit. I don't subscribe, don't like, don't do anything, you know. If you do, Matt Dillahunty may show up and say, "Deal." And by the way, hi, Matt. You're probably probably out of your community of trust too. But anyway, good night. Bye.